Masech Menahot Daf Kufa Amud Aleph, around the 15 lines down by the Mishnah. Siddur Lechem b'Shabbat. If someone arranged the penny bread on the Shabbat on the Shulchan, but the Bezechin lahar Shabbat, then put the Torah spoons on Sunday. Ve'tira the Bezechin b'Shabbat. Then you burnt the spoons of the Torah on the next Shabbat. Pasuk could on for a week. En chayvin elen mishum pigul notar tameh. Additionally, there's no such thing as pigul notar tameh. Pigul is the karet for a long time. Not has been overnight, and tameh is tomorrow. Siddur the lechem b'debezich, but doing it while tameh. Siddur the lechem b'et ha-bezechim b'Shabbat. You did both the bread and the spoons on Shabbat. Be'etirat ha-bezechim la-Shabbat, and you burnt the spoons the next Sunday, sorry, the next day, and leaving the bread till the next week. P'sla pasul. Ben hayvin lam mishal pigul v'yam. Again, not hayvin those either because it was done at the wrong time. Siddur the lechem b'et ha-bezechim la-Shabbat. If you set them both up on Sunday, be'etirat ha-bezechim b'Shabbat, and you burnt it on Shabbat. P'sla pasul. Kesed yaseh. How do you do that? It's kasher. If it's done on Sunday, then Yehenna the Shabbat Abba, you should leave it on the second Shabbat. Shafilu Hijal Shulchan, even some extra days, and Mekach Kum, there's no problem. It has to be on for at least a week. Under a week's not good. If you want to leave it, if you put it on late, you guys have to wait till the following Shabbat. Tanadam, Amar Lehem Amruna, the administrator, the guy in charge of the thing, which would be the vice Kohen Gadol, the Skan, he would tell the Kohanim, so go check if it's time to slaughter the Qurban of the morning. If it was remember the observer would say yes, but is the entire horizon lit until Hebron? He says yes. Why would you do that? The reason one time the moon rose and it was close and it looked like it was the sunlight from the east. They slaughtered the tamid, but and they realized it was nighttime. They had to burn it. Therefore, they make sure that it's complete sunlight by seeing the horizon all the way to the Hebron. That was from Secher Yoma. But the Kohen Gadol at Tefillah and Yom Kippur, when you do Tamid, the Kohen Gadol has to be mitabel, he has to go into the mikveh. Zeh Klal Yamadash, the rules in the Mikdash. Kol Masech Ragot HaYom Tefillah, whoever removes his bowels, number two, and he needs to be dipped in the mikveh. Chol Tam Tefillah, Yom Ta'un Kadosh V'Naglim, whoever urinates needs to wash his hands and feet. Tanei Avu Ad Rebbe Avin. Those will not only that, Ela Afilu Ata Of Shem Kabalayla. Not only if the korban of the morning is slaughtered at nighttime, you need to burn it, but even if the bird olab did melika at nighttime, or the minha did kimitza at nighttime, you also have to burn it because it's pasul. Bishlam makes sense by the bird, mission the efshar lehadra because you can't fix it. It's slaughtered. The minha regarding the minha, efshar the matter comments just put the flour back. Commit biyama and do kimitza again. We have to burn it. The Gemara says, he asked it, then he answered it. Because the vessel can make it kadosh even though it's the wrong time. Maybe I have a question. Kol hakarev because anything that's kadosh, anything that's supposed to be brought for the day, it's kadosh during the day. But anything at nighttime is kadosh at nighttime. Anything that's brought for both is kadosh by both. Now, kol hakarev because b'yom in, something seemingly is only kadosh during the day, it only can become kadosh during the day. Now, at nighttime. So how do you say over here the minha shouldn't become pasul? Nothing should happen. Should be able to return it. Where it says "Ena kadosh lekaret," yeah, you can't bring it kedusha. Avakadosh bazel kadosh now to be pasul. Once it's placed in the vessel at nighttime, it becomes pasul. Motiv Rebizra. Sidra Lachamad Bezechin Lahashabat. Someone arranged the bread and the spoons on Sunday. Behektira Bezechin Shabbat, and you burnt the spoons on Shabbat. Pisla pasul. How do you do it? That it's kasher. In Yehenna, the Shabbat Abba, you set it up for the next Shabbat. Sha'afilu hi ha'shulchan, you're doing some long days. On many days, in Bekak, no problem. We said that Kodesh Mekadem Ladan. If you tell me now that the vessels make Kadosh, Liktosh B'Yisrael should become Pasul by nighttime. Or it says, by the following Saturday. Oh, well, Man de kam motiv shapir kam motiv. When we ask this question, that's like a question. Avu ad Rabbi Avin nami about that. To Mahavar Rabbi Avin also brought a proof for himself. Because he holds that bringing a Quran not considered premature timing. But early time is a problem. Therefore, over here, the nighttime won't be possible, but it can be considered too early. However, we see. When the first Friday night comes, it should become kadosh. So it should make a kadosh, and then it should be pasul. The Gemara says, Marava he removed it before nighttime. So it does not make it pasul by the first Friday. Even if you did not remove it, it's still kadosh. He arranged it not according to the requirement, he did it a long time. Therefore, it's as if a monkey did it. Meaning, it was done incorrectly, doesn't count, does not become kadosh. Stay halechem ne'echad in pachot mishnayim. Stay halechem should not be eaten less than 2 days. The Torah should not more than three. Can't say what do you do? Ne'echad me'erev tov. You bake it before Sukkot. Ne'echad yom tov al shnayim. Therefore, you're eating on the second day. Hal yom tov liyato Shabbat. If Chag falls out on Sunday and you're baking them on Friday, ne'echad l'shoshon, you're eating on the third day, never fourth. Lechem panim ne'echad in pachot mishtishav. Lechem panim cannot be eaten less than 9 days. The Torah is not more than 11. What's the case? This is ketzad. Now, if I'm Erev Shabbat, if it's baked on Erev Shabbat Friday, it's the end of the next Shabbat, that's 9 days. If the Hag falls out on Friday, then it's cooked baked on Thursday. Now, then it's 10 days till the next Shabbat. If it's 2 days of Rosh Hashanah falling out on Thursday, Friday, it's baked on Wednesday. Now, then it's eaten on the next Shabbat, which is 11 days. Then on the Shabbat, and baking it should not be done on Yom Tov or Shabbat. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, Rabbi Shimon Sagan. The Hayat Yom Tov it is you gotta do it on Yom Tov. The end of the Hayat Yom Tov at Yom Tov it's not you can't bake it on Yom Kippur that's baked on Friday that falls on Friday. Therefore, if it's falling on Friday, you have to bake it on Thursday. Maravina. The Rebbe Omer and the Rebbe Devot and Kivim Tov according to the opinion says that you cannot bring donated korbanot on Chag. Lo temal midrata mechzer hazu. Don't say that really it's allowed eligible from the Torah to be brought on Chag, but I don't know who takes Rosh Hashanah. Hashemim said don't do it because I'm late. Really not even according to you're not supposed to bring these korbanot on Chag. The hashtag lechem the havada move because we can prove it. The hashtag lechem, which is hayub on Shavuot, but like Marshem Meishen, which think is we're waiting too long because you can't wait till after the Chag. Tani Mishnah says in the Chilot Shabbat L'Yom Tov, we still see that you can't bake it. Therefore, we see donated korbanot are not allowed. I don't understand lechem. I don't understand lechem. I don't understand lechem. No perek. HaMenahot b'nesachim mishen ta'uf. The menachah or the nesach became tameh. I should look at the shul if they became tameh before they became in kadosh in the vessel. Yesh lehem pirion, you can redeem it. Mishayek shu b'kli, if it became kadosh, and then pirion, they can't be redeemed. And therefore, probably have to burn it. Ha'afot, bird korbanot. V'aitzim and wood used for the fire of the mizbeach. V'alavana, like incense. Klei sheret and the vessels. Mishim when they become tameh, and then pirion, you can't redeem it. Shalom amar pirion abimiyam, like only time you're redeeming things in the kedusha from their physical kedusha is by animals. Even if they're redeemed, they can be redeemed even if they're tahor. My time, why? Because as long as they're not kadosh, kedusha they're considered monetary kedusha. That can be redeemed. Says that they did become tameh, can be redeemed. Saying if they're tahor, you can't redeem it. The Gemara says, "Who hadin da'afagad lot really same thing applies if it's not tameh." Ba'agi the kavah and this is the second part of Mishnah makes shekul kli and then clear that they when they became kadosh they're not eligible to be redeemed. Ta'afilun to namilo. Over there, even it's not and a namidrash. Therefore, we mentioned our first halacha even when they are tameh. Mishikishubikli and then pidyon pshita. So if it's no kedusha, then for sure you could redeem it. If it became kadosh, of course you can't redeem it. Kedusha kufinu is for sure. Why? What do you teach us? Marsa isrich no. You need to teach Tazag mum ikritameh. Since an animal with a mum is considered tameh by the Torah, therefore maybe a tameh korban should also be like a mum. Even though it's kadosh physically, cannot feel the mum mipri. Since when the mum happens, you're able to redeem it. Hananam mipri, so when ha or nesach becomes tameh, you can also redeem it. Pashan therefore Mishnah says, it's not the same type of tumah like a mum. Because we don't redeem things that became kadosh in a vessel. Where do we see that a mum became tameh? A mum is called tameh. Somebody says, "Ve'im kol behemat tameh asher lo yakdu me'erich kol Hashem." Ve'al mum shenevdim yakim pasuk simin toma blemished animals. Mum they can redeem. Atar b'al mean shenevdim is referring to blemished animals being redeemed. Well, eno ela behemat tameh is referring to tameh, lamash actual tameh. Remember, the pasuk already says, "Ve'im you're able to redeem the value of the tameh animals." That's talking about tameh animals can be redeemed already. How many can be tameh? So we want to mention over here again. But you're able to redeem blemished animals that are tameh. Maybe you could also redeem a korban that became tameh even for a temporary mum. It's not, it can't be brought, Pasuk says it can't be given as a korban for Hashem, seemingly at all. This temporary korban is eligible to be brought as a korban once the temporary mum passes. Bird korbanot, wood, levana, and klesher that became tameh, and then you can't redeem it. Because it only passed by animals. Bird makes sense because they are physically kadosh. That doesn't apply by animals like regular animals, not birds. And I think when I wood, incense, and vessels, literally, one can't redeem it. It's not kedusha guf. Allah must be mishum deterin da'alma enaftin because things that are sent to the Torah cannot be redeemed, even though there's no kedusha. Ba'anami, therefore also as well, they can't be redeemed. Afagat da'atinoi, they still considered them the Torah. The Gemara says, "Devasim lebanon la b'nei uchlaninu." Wood and lebanon are edible. Ela hibata kadosh mishabeh lehem le'uchla. Rather, since it's of the hashivut of the kiddush for the Beit HaMikdash, that's why it's considered quote unquote food. It's in command because therefore pieces of wood, as long as they don't trim them into blocks, lamid kashi, they don't become eligible for tameh because it's not like finished yet. But when an amid like as long as it's not become kadosh in a vessel, lamid kashi also does not become tameh. Nami also vessels are not tahor, are considered tahor, because technically they can be fixed by becoming tameh. So seemingly all that we brought down because we're saying that Levanon Klishanat can become redeemed because they're considered tahor. So Mishnah, our Mishnah, the one against Shmuel, says that they can be redeemed. The Gemara says la. Really, things that are sent to the Torah can be redeemed. The reason why wood, Levanon, vessels cannot be redeemed because it's not common to happen, and therefore they're not common to find, and therefore you can't replace them. Therefore, we don't want to be redeem them. I understand why Lebanon service vessels you can't, they're not common to replace. But wood is replaceable seemingly easily. It seems not even wood. We learned. Any wood that had a piece of that had a worm found in it, it's always pasul. Therefore, it's also not so common. If you heard what Shmuel said and find right there, if someone makes kadosh, an unblemished animal, for the funds, it's the value of the animal should be used for the upkeep of the Beit HaMikdash, like renovations. Input in the you can only use it on Zech. Shakor and Zach means eligible from Zech, any of the 7 days can never leave it. We see from here, even though it's only monetarily kadosh, and you can't redeem it because the Torah had and Shmuel must be retracting what he said. Or it says, lie, it's not a proof. Shmuel heard this as well, but other way he didn't retract. Lav Mar happened because we see he said, Kevin we don't redeem things because they're not common. As well. Kevin the Shechim wind was now. Since animals frequently and commonly get blemishes that get pasul, because we know even minor mumin, like a special eye issue that can make things pasul, therefore it's considered not common, and therefore it's hard to redeem it, and therefore we don't know how to redeem it.